This F1 driver's family was so poor that they had to sell their entire house to even keep him in racing. While other families were so rich they didn't even need to try out for the team, they simply bought it. Let's take a look at the richest and poorest drivers in Formula 1. And we're starting with the boy whose father had to sacrifice his own life to give his kid a chance. Lewis Hamilton, the greatest success story Formula 1 has ever seen. Lewis grew up in Stevenage, a long way from the glamour of Monaco or Monte Carlo. His dad, Anthony Hamilton, worked 4 jobs at once: IT manager, dishwasher, contractor, anything he could, just to keep Lewis racing. At times, the family literally slept in their car between races to save money. Anthony wasn't just funding Lewis, he was coaching too. He taught Lewis to brake later, to take risks, to find every edge, and Lewis made it count. By 13, he had signed with McLaren's junior program. By 23, he was a race winner. 7 world championships, over 100 wins, and still climbing. But Hamilton never forgot where he came from. He's always said the sacrifices his dad made are the reason he's here today. From a council estate to the most successful F1 driver of all time. Lewis is proof that pure determination can rewrite destiny. But without talent, well, you get this guy. Nikita Mazepin, the man who somehow made himself the most hated driver on the grid in just a single season. Mazepin's story is the definition of a pay driver. His dad, Dmitry Mazepin, is a Russian oligarch worth billions, and when Nikita showed some mild talent in karting, Dad opened the money fire hose. Private training, the best cars, the best engineers, and eventually a Formula 1 seat at Haas. Not because Nikita was the best option, but because Uralkali, Daddy's company, became the title sponsor. On track, it was a disaster. He was constantly spinning out, so much that fans nicknamed him Maz's Spin. He nearly drove teammate Mick Schumacher into the wall multiple times, ignored blue flags while being lapped, and was consistently half a second slower than Mick in qualifying. Off track? Even worse. A leaked video in 2020 showed him inappropriately groping a woman. Haas called it abhorrent, but still kept him because of the money. He punched Callum Ilott in the face back in F2, made sexist and racist comments, even mocked Yuki Tsunoda. Luckily for us, it all came crashing down in March 2022. After Russia invaded Ukraine, Haas dropped Mazepin and his father's sponsorship overnight. Kevin Magnussen returned and immediately scored points, something Mazepin never managed in his F1 career. Nikita's legacy? Proof that money can buy you a seat, but not respect. But if there ever was a family deserving of respect, it's definitely Esteban Ocon. Esteban's story is the ultimate underdog fairy tale. Born in Évreux, France, Ocon wasn't born into money. His dad was a mechanic. His mom ran a small garage. Just regular folks with a kid obsessed with racing. The problem? Racing costs more than most people earn in a lifetime. So his parents made the ultimate sacrifice. They sold the family home and the garage with it. They literally gave up everything and moved into a caravan, traveling race to race just to keep Ocon's dream alive. While the other kids had the luxury of brand new carts, factory support, and spare engines, Esteban was recycling worn out tires from the trash bins of rival drivers. And yet, it worked. Ocon kept grinding. In 2011, he finished second in the WSK Euro Series, just behind a kid named, well, Max Verstappen. By 2014, he beat Max to the European F3 title, and Mercedes noticed. They brought him into their junior program, giving him the lifeline his family couldn't. From there, the rise was rapid. Manor in 2016, Force India in 2017, and eventually Alpine. To this day, Ocon never forgets what his parents sacrificed. He said flat out, "If I was in their shoes, I wouldn't have done it. It was too risky." But they believed in me. Some drivers had privilege. Ocon had grit, and it paid off. Lando Norris. Next up, we have Lando Norris. Unlike Ocon or Lewis, Lando had one massive advantage. His dad, Adam Norris, is worth over $200 million from the financial industry. That money gave Lando every opportunity. the best equipment, the best coaches, and the freedom to climb the junior ladder without ever worrying about sponsorships. But here's the thing, Lando could actually drive. In karting, he wasn't just showing up with the best gear, he was winning. In 2014, he became the youngest ever world karting champion. In Formula 3, he dominated. By 2017, McLaren had him signed as a junior driver. His F1 debut came in 2019, and while the pay driver label sometimes follows him, he's proven he belongs. Multiple race wins, and now a genuine title contender with McLaren. Yes, money opened doors, but money alone doesn't keep you in F1. Lando isn't Mazepin. He's a driver with serious talent who just happened to be lucky enough to never worry about funding. Now for the ultimate rags to riches story, Michael Schumacher. Before 7 world titles, before Ferrari dominance, before being called the greatest of all time, Michael was just a poor kid from Kerpen, Germany. His father was a bricklayer who ran a small kart track on the side. His mother worked the track's canteen. They weren't rich, not even close. In fact, Michael's first kart was literally a homemade contraption with discarded parts and old tires pulled from the garage. They couldn't afford new engines or chassis, so Michael became his own mechanic, fixing everything by hand. Eventually, a local businessman spotted his talent and gave him financial backing, the break he desperately needed. From there, Schumacher rocketed up the ranks. Formula 3 champion, a shock F1 debut with Jordan in 1991, and then a seat at Benetton, where he won his first 2 titles. By the time Ferrari picked him up, the legend was set. What makes Michael's story so wild is that he came from nothing. He wasn't born into wealth. His family literally sacrificed everything just to keep him racing, and he repaid that fate by becoming the most successful F1 driver of his generation. From trash can kart to 7-time world champion. That's Michael Schumacher. If you thought Lando's dad was rich, wait until you hear about Lance Stroll's father. His billionaire net worth makes Lando's family look broke in comparison. Lawrence Stroll is a Canadian billionaire worth nearly $4 billion. He owns one of the biggest car collections in the world, including a Ferrari 250 GTO worth around $70 million. Oh, and he also happens to own a Formula 1 team. From the start, Lance had every advantage. Private jets, the karting races, he even had his own ex-F1 driver as a personal coach from the beginning. And when he needed to climb the ladder, his dad poured $60 million into the Prema team to make sure Lance had the best cars. By 2017, Lance was in Formula 1, skipping Formula 2 entirely. And when his seat looked shaky in 2019, Lawrence just bought Racing Point, rebranded it as Aston Martin, and locked in his son's career. Now, let's be fair, Lance isn't talentless. He scored a podium as a teenager and even took pole in Turkey 2020, but he's wildly inconsistent, often slower than his teammates, and his attitude hasn't helped his reputation. Still, with dad owning the team, his job security is unmatched. Lance Stroll is the definition of a pay driver, but one with just enough ability to hang on.